Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com with promo code AUDIO40.
Hey, welcome back to In the Mind of a Man. I'm back this week with the amazing sex therapist, Emily Morse. I'm super excited to have you. You are on the #1 rated podcast, Sex with Emily. Let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about here. This is going to be an interesting one. So let's get into it. First of all, you're from Michigan. Mm-hmm. Born and raised?
Born and raised, Detroit.
Wow. When did you get here?
I got to LA about 10 years ago, and I was in San Francisco before that.
Wow. I moved here. Well, I left Detroit in 1998.
Okay.
And then I think I went to Chicago, New York, Miami, Europe, and then I came here.
All right.
I was doing a little modeling, so I was traveling around. But yeah, I ended up here. I chased a girl here.
You did? That happens. Yeah. That happens.
But you miss Michigan?
I don't. No, my family's there. I go back. Do you still go back?
Yeah. My sister lives. She just bought a new house. Actually, she lives on Lake St. Clair.
Okay. Oh, beautiful.
I grew up in Shelby Township.
Okay. Yeah. I grew up in Farmington Hills.
Yeah.
My family's still there.
Yeah, I love it. I love the
Hills.
seasons.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love going in the summer.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I miss it all the time. That's where all my family's from. So anyway.
So we're good Midwestern folks here. Just having a conversation about sex. I'm sure we had similar upbringings. I don't know about you. I had zero sex education.
No, and I grew up in a very conservative, very leave it to Beaver, I always say, neighborhood. I don't even think I had the sex talk with my dad. It was just kind of, and I also was a very late bloomer. Have you ever seen the movie American Pie?
Yeah.
That was my neighborhood. My friends.
Yeah.
People left their doors open. It was just nothing went wrong. Football games on Fridays. You had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Relatable.
Yeah.
Similar. Like Farmington Hills, we were like football champ. Everyone was like cheerleaders and the football players.
We didn't really, and I just sex wasn't really a big thing then.
Yeah.
Until I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19. I was a late bloomer.
Yeah, that's good. Sounds like you waited until you were ready.
Yeah.
And then you never stopped.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to ask some questions here. I got a lot of these questions from viewers and listeners, and I mean, some of these questions I have on my own. They're really, really good. So let's just get into it. Okay. So when dating, I guess I'm going through my divorce.
Okay.
How long should you wait to have sex again, do you think?
After a divorce?
After a divorce.
It's such a good question. I feel like it's very individualized question and answer because it's really when you're ready. There's so many different reasons why we have sex. And so if you're doing it, like a lot of people are like, I barely wait. I decided I'm going to divorce and then I went to Vegas that weekend and I met all these people, so it's kind of like if you're even considering that you might not be ready, then maybe you're not ready because sex can get so... It can get complicated. It can be like I'm attached to somebody else because we had sex, but I'm still healing from my marriage. And so I think you wait until you feel like, I actually want to have sex because I don't know. It depends. Now, listen, there's also you just want to get laid. You just want to get off. That's fun too. But we also know that can be complicated. So I say it's.
I think too, in my situation, I waited a little bit.
Okay, so you've already had sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I waited a little longer. But yeah, okay, so let me ask you this. So if you're going on a date, okay, what if you're going on a date now? Now, forget the being married part.
Right.
I'm going on a date with somebody. I really like this person. How long should I wait till I guess, put the move on? Or is there a time? Here's my take.
Sex is all about energy. It's all about connection. So if you're with somebody and you're both feeling it, like legitimately, you're not wasted, you're not too drunk, you're not too, because that happens too. A lot of times we drink a lot and then we make these decisions and in the morning we have like the shame over. So to me, I never put a number on it. There's all these other people who are like, oh, you should wait 3 dates or wait till you get a commitment. I'm not going to give you a number or a time limit, but I'm going to say that what's the rush? Sex can get complicated.
It does get
If it's
complicated.
really, how hot is it though? Just to have like a really great, like you make out, it feels amazing, and you know that there's chemistry. How exciting to be like, why don't we just wait? Like, I'll see you next time. That's the best foreplay ever.
It is. And it's a lot of fun. You're like, is it going to happen?
Yeah.
What's going to happen today? Like, are we going to, like, and then, like, you're in the moment, and you're like, okay, if we have sex, it won't ruin anything. And it does, though. It doesn't ruin everything,
Well, tell
but
me,
it puts
what's
the
been
pressure.
your experience? How is it?
It puts, like, it's kind of, I hate to talk about this, but, like, for me, once I have sex with them, I lose the interest.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Once I get there, I lose the interest, and
Okay.
I don't know why.
Every single time? I mean, not in your
not every
marriage.
single time, but
Okay.
I think on the most part, like I talk to a lot of guys about this. Like once they have, once they've done it, they kind of lose the interest a little bit. It kind of takes away from it, and be like, and then the girl gets, okay, is he going to call me? Now it almost puts like in a contract in there without writing a contract. You know what I'm saying? It almost like it's like, okay, we did this. Now, does that mean? I guess there should be some talk prior,
Yeah,
right?
it sounds
say,
like
hey,
it.
listen, if we do this, what does this mean? Although that
Right.
does kill the buzz a little bit, right? You're like,
Yeah. So you're saying if you have sex with someone on the first date, you lose interest, or even if you wait 2 months, you're going to lose interest like that.
I think and it's happened to me, not every time, but
Right.
it's happened to me where like as soon as I have sex with that person, okay, I'm done.
Sounds like there's a patterning going on because it doesn't have to necessarily be your future.
I used to be the 3-week wonder.
Yeah.
Like I would stay with somebody for 3 weeks and that was it.
Okay. And then what happens in your brain? So you have sex with them and you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm over it. Was it almost like you were on the chase, like you were hunting, you caught the prey, you did it, and you're like, okay, next thrill? Like, is it like a dopamine rush?
I don't know. I can't explain it. Like I don't know what's going on in my freaking brain. I don't.
Do you actually and is it ever like, bummer, I really liked her, but I just cannot feel it is it like you lose feelings or it becomes like, here's a few things. Does it become like, oh God, now there's like, I got a collar and there's a bird,
Yes.
or a responsibility?
Yes, like I feel guilty. Like, do I owe her something now after this?
Interesting. Okay.
Like, but so like, is it weird? Say for instance, okay, I'm just gonna say for instance, I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, okay, it's maybe the 4th or 5th date. It's around that time where you're going to start thinking about having sex, right? Do you have that conversation with this person? Like, hey, right before it goes on, by the way, time out for a second. Is this going to mess up our situation here? Are we going to have to date after this? Or is this just a one time? Like, it's going to put something bad in their mind.
I love where you're going with this because what I think is going to be the most helpful for you going forward is to actually be yourself and be authentic. You can say, I'm the 3-week wonder. I actually have a pattern of when I sleep with someone, I guess lose interest.
I didn't want to be completely honest because then what if she doesn't want to sleep with me then?
Yeah, but then then that's such good information. Like
Right.
we're always gathering information. How does that make you feel?
Right, because then she can't call me an asshole and say this guy's that he led me on. He was, I guess, quote unquote, love bombing me.
Yeah.
Breadcrumbing me,
Yeah.
all that other stuff, and telling her things that she wants to hear just to get her in bed.
Right.
I am in no way, shape, or form interested in a relationship. In no interest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my ex-wife and I, we went our separate ways. So of course, when you come out, and this goes for her
Yeah,
too,
you're
and
ready.
I want her to go out and explore and have fun because it didn't work for either of us. So it's going to happen. But no, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. But at the same time, I don't want to be like, I'm glad you're here. I don't want to date you, but let's just have sex. Like, how do you say it without?
Listen. So right now, what I love in this age of dating and digital dating, however you meet people, is you get to say exactly what you're looking for. And there's a lot of women out there who aren't looking for a relationship either.
Yeah.
Who might say, "Yeah, I got you. I hear you. I'm not looking for that either." And wonder how that would make you feel, though. Like, so what if you have sex with someone and she's like, "I don't want that either."
I would probably be like.
You'd probably want her more.
It's like, what do you call that? Reverse psychology kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe. But if she really, yes, that is reverse psychology. But also, like, I just think I'm so much about people being like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Here's what I am looking for. I'd love to see you once a week, only once. This is the kind of stuff I'm into. I don't really want to date. I'm just looking for someone who's like, what are you into sexually?
Okay.
Like, I think this is my mission. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Right.
I'm all about not making sex so taboo and so shameful, and that we have to just like close our eyes and hope for get in the dark with someone and like I hope that we like the same thing, and I hope. Why not just start being really freaking honest with people? Like, this is what happens. I like this kind of sex. It might just be one night. I don't love sleepovers. Like, be real. Like, and that will open up for. And the women, listen. The women are like, oh, that's terrible. They're all going to think you're an asshole that way too. But it's not your people. Right. And not your fault, because you are speaking your truth and you are not responsible for them.
Okay, let's go one
step.
We
can practice, too, what you might say, so it doesn't sound like we can come up with a script.
I'm very interested. I'm going to start doing it this way, and because I want to see. It's going to be a little experiment for me.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can prove you guys wrong, but I feel like you're going to be right. You're women, obviously, but I'm going to see if I can do it this way, just because I'm always so like, it's not that I'm trying to, I want to lie to these girls. I just don't want to hurt their feelings. It's more about that. And I know that
their feelings by not being honest.
Exactly. But now let me take it one step further.
Yeah.
What if they say, am I the only one you're sleeping with? What if they pull that?
You say, no. I'm sleeping with other people right now, and I'm using protection.
Yeah.
So many people are. Listen, this has been going on since the beginning of dating, but we never talked about it. I mean, for people who go on one date with someone and they assume, or 2 dates or 3 dates, that they met on a dating app, for example, or they just met out in the world, and they assume that they're not sleeping with anyone, that's on them. We should be talking about this all the time. Yeah, I'm dating other people. Like, I hope you are too. We just met tonight for the first time. So just, I'm dating other people. As I mentioned, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, but I love spending time with you. It's been great. Like, what do you like to do when you go out with someone? Do you like to go to parties, movies? Like, what do you do?
Well, to be honest with you, that's a whole other thing right now. I'm recently sober, and I've been now.
Good.
So I'm trying to figure, this is a really big, I'm going to get into this in a second.
Yeah.
We're going to go to that in a second. But is it inappropriate for me to ask somebody, are you sleeping with other people right now? Is that inappropriate? Or
No,
is that
I don't think so. So you could just say to them, tell me, so are you dating right now? Are you sleeping? Yeah.
Are you sleeping with other people?
Yeah, you can ask them that. Are you sleeping with other, are you asking them this like on the first date?
No, I mean, I guess, is it like, is she going to throw back like, this is not your business? Or, no, I'm sleeping with 7 people, right? Like, is it weird to ask
I don't think
question?
it's weird at all. You could even say, I know this. You could even, this is what I say you do. This is the new Jax. I'm sober now. I was married for 10 years, and I really want to date right. And I'm really looking for a conscious, intentional relationship. And this is really new to me. So I just want to try to have authentic conversations with the people I'm seeing. And I'm in no way, I don't want to offend you. I don't want to hurt you. I'm doing this way so it'll be good for both of us. I want to be really transparent.
Right.
Because I want to make sure that I don't get hurt and you don't get hurt. So I'm going to ask some questions, and I'll share. You can ask me anything.
Yeah.
Let's have a real conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can argue with that.
I mean, that's a really good way to put it. Like, and this is another thing. So I'm 45 years old. Okay. I've been drinking since I was 19 years old. Okay. And every single date I've been on in my life, right? You have a couple drinks, you go out for drinks, because it kind of just helps. It relaxes, it cuts the edge off, right? So now, for the first time in my life, I am going out and I'm going on a date without drinking. So there's no buffer. Okay, there's no taking the edge off. Like, I've been going back and forth in my head. How the hell am I going to date? Because I've already turned down a couple because I'm not comfortable with it. Like, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
So, my guess is what I'm going to have to do is start going for coffee.
Yeah, coffee, walks.
And I'm also now that person who I used to shy away from. I'm that guy now who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
I used to make fun of people like me. Like,
how long have you been sober now?
We're around 90, 91 days, 92 days. Not too long.
First off, that's amazing. Congratulations. That is not easy. And are you working a program now?
No, I'm just doing it the way I go to therapy and stuff, and I check in with somebody, and I got like a life coach. But I'm pretty a man of my word. If I stop doing it, I'm stop doing it. So the problem is that it's not the stopping doing it. It's like how to rebrand myself and how to live my life without alcohol and drugs. I haven't done this in many, many years. Drugs and alcohol played a huge, huge role in my life, my sex life, my dating, huge role. Because I was invincible when I go on dates. I have everything to talk about. I'm the life of the party. Now I'm taking the back seat and all that. And I'm scared because I feel like I'm not going to be as fun or interesting, or
I get it.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about, because normally I don't give a shit about what anybody has to say unless I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think this is such an first off, I want to say that it is a process. This is really common when people get sober, that a lot of the reasons why we all start drinking is because it takes that edge off. It makes it easier to flirt, to have sex from like a young age. Liquid courage. Since you were probably the first time you had sex. So this is a huge life change. I want you to honor that and know that there's also no timeline. Like, I'm telling you, if you were, a lot of people who are in the program, and I maybe there's reasons why you don't want to. I'm just telling you, I've seen such amazing change from people who do go and have that accountability, typically they recommend that you wait a year until you have sex again or get in a relationship when you first get sober. Okay. I'm just telling you
as
that
far as
is kind of protocol.
Yes, but I'm not waiting.
But I think definitely for a year, but you could even say like, because what I love about it and why it is so hard is that it's going to be about being really present with somebody. Because when you're drinking, you lose your inhibitions, you're not really focused. And now it's going to be about like, do I actually like this person? Do I like connecting with them?
Do you like people when you're not drinking?
I do. I'm not a big drinker.
Oh, okay. So like I said, I've been drinking I can't even remember when I haven't stopped drinking. So now I have to, like I said, I'm relearning. And to be honest, I like being by myself.
Yeah.
The only time if I had to be around people, I got to make sure there's alcohol there because I don't give a shit about what anybody says. Now I have to meet people. Yeah. Now I have to be interested in your conversation. Like the idea of dating again sounds fucking horrific. Yeah. Like horrific. I got to get to know you. What's your favorite color? What do you like to do?
Remember it.
Oh God.
I know.
It sounds
awful.
Misery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So maybe take a beat also.
I'm definitely.
I got to tell you, 90 days is nothing.
No, it's
like
nothing.
In your overall life, you're 45 of drinking. You're for the last 25 years. This is like you're in it right now. This is like very early stages. So just be kind to yourself. And I would say go slow and don't push yourself to go out there and necessarily have sex. Maybe it's just about connection with someone. It's a process. So I have to tell you something. So I have a friend who got sober in San Francisco a long time ago. She was my bestie. She was a big drinker. And I remember she went on a date with someone. And she was like, I do not know how to talk to a man. She said, come with me. So I literally came with her on the date because she was like a mute. I'm like, oh, I'll call her like Stacy. I'm like, Stacy's. And it was kind of, I look back on that. And it was really, it was kind of fun because funny, interesting. She was so nervous, but now she's like, it's been 20 years. I mean, it probably only took her maybe a year, but it was a little bit awkward. I only went on one date with her, but she got comfortable again. She figured out who she was without alcohol and she's so much happier now. So just know that it's a muscle. Dating is a muscle. Living this way is a new experience. So
yeah, that's just what I'm going through now. And it's really,
I know,
it gives me anxiety. It gives me such anxiety. And I'm like, I'm probably going to be alone for the rest of my life,
no, you
which
won't.
is okay.
Not
I have my son and I'm okay.
Yeah.
If you could do one thing this year that could help you lose up to 20 to 30 pounds without lifting a single weight and it would actually be good for you, would you do it? And if it would actually improve your health and digestion and it tastes like a chocolate shake, wouldn't that be the ultimate win? Well, here it is. It's called Shakeology, packed with vital nutrients, protein, probiotics, adaptogens, and superfoods. It's the easiest way to reset your nutrition, curb cravings, and feel incredible, all in under the 2 minutes it takes to make a simple shake. No meal prep, no guesswork, just a smarter way to fuel your body and start feeling your best. Shakeology isn't just a shake. It's a lifestyle upgrade that makes healthy living easy, delicious, and totally doable. Shakeology is all your vital nutrition made simple. You can get free shipping, big discounts, and a free shaker cup when you subscribe at Shakeology.com. That's Shakeology.com.
Okay, getting on to the next thing here. So, do you think couples should use porn together, to watch porn together, to use intimate videos together? What do you think about?
Yeah, I think that if both agree that it's something that's hot for them and they can find some porn that turns them both on, it can be really fun. It can be really hot.
Do you think if you're in a relationship, I'm just piggybacking off this question, if you're in a relationship with somebody, say you've dated someone for 5 years, right? Maybe you both travel a lot for work. Do you think it's cheating for one of the people, say they're in their hotel and they're watching porn, if it's not their significant other, if it's somebody else, not like sexy videos from your wife or girlfriend, if you're watching porn.
Oh, and you're in a relationship? Yeah, people do that all the time.
But it's not their significant other. It's strictly just porn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, wait. Let's back up for a minute. Here's the porn conversation. Here's the porn. First off, porn has been around since the beginning of time. Like, there's ancient cave dwellings where you saw, like, people, like, cavemen, like, writing. Like, porn is the oldest art form. It is erotic. It's sexy. There's all these things. Now, where it gets to be a problem in relationships is when we lie about our porn use. We tend to think, like, we get jealous. Like, oh, the porn you're watching doesn't look like me. It must be cheating. And this is another thing that couples have to talk about. Talk about it. Like, so, do you watch porn? What kind do you watch? This is what I do. Like, of course, I mean, people watch porn in relationships, out of relationships.
It depends on the couple, though. It depends on the couple. There's going to be some.
Not masturbate?
Because there's going to be some.
It's part of being sexually healthy.
But I know some girls that wouldn't think, okay, that's cheating.
Okay, well, maybe those aren't your girls. Yeah.
It's all preference, right?
I get it, but because we have a huge misunderstanding about our sexuality and what cheating is and what it means when someone watches porn. So, I mean, to me, listen, what I'm saying is not people, I wish it was common knowledge, but what you're asking me is very common. I hear this from my listeners on my podcast, Sex with Emily, every single day for the last 20 years. However, my take on it is, because what's the feeling? Let's say you are watching porn. Does the partner, like, let's say you're in a relationship, she's like, that's cheating? Like, how is that cheating that you are having a release and having an orgasm?
Because you're watching another woman.
Yeah, but like, okay.
I mean, this is
so maybe, and there are
subjective.
people, and that people are completely, like, that is a completely valid way to feel.
Right.
But beneath that, what is it, like, that this fear that maybe the porn's going to make you like leave her, or means that you don't love her? It sounds to me like it's a relationship where you don't feel secure in that relationship. People who are sexually healthy in a relationship are like, do you? I trust you. Like, is it hot? Tell me about it. Like, what were you watching? So say this, does it, what does it create?
I say, can it become a problem? Can it give, I mean, from what I hear, if a man uses too much porn, it can give unrealistic expectations.
Well, that goes, yes. So porn, the problem with later generations, porn has been, for the last 20 plus years since smartphone came out, about 20 years, 18 years, porn has been available in our pockets now. So now it's so readily accessible.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of young people now who grew up just watching porn, and they make assumptions that that's how you actually have sex. Remember that porn is not sex education, and porn without sex education is a disaster. So watching porn, learning to like have sex by watching porn is like learning to drive by watching like Fast and the Furious. Like, it is not accurate. There is a script. I'm always going like, he's nowhere near her clitoris. Like, how is that hot? So porn is really just for like our arousal. Can it become a problem? Absolutely. We can watch too much porn, and that we watch so much porn that we can no longer get aroused with another human in the room. And of course it has its negative impacts on our sexuality, but in the most part, if we use it mindfully and intentionally, it's, not awful, but it can be fraught for sure.
What do you think is too much porn? Like, do you think once a week?
I think when there's consequences. So when, let's say, you watch so much porn that you couldn't make it to work, or you watch so much porn that you can't get erection when you're with somebody, or you watch so much porn that every time you're with someone, you're like, oh, this should actually be a gangbang, and she should bring all her friends, and it should be crazy. Like, that's when it's a problem. But if it's not actually affecting your lifestyle and your arousal and your attraction levels, then it's not a problem. So I'm not going to give you like a number. Some people watch it every day, and they're totally in healthy relationships. So I think that maybe there's this notion that maybe your sexuality has been policed by people you've been with, and maybe theirs has been too. But we are all sexually autonomous creatures who get to decide what works for us, and then we get to share that with a partner and talk about it.
I think for me, I'm going to be honest with you right now because of my situation. And I don't know if people are interested in me for actually me, or for what I do for a living.
I think they're interested in you for you. I'm just going to tell you right now that people want to know about you.
I also think that I get really nervous about going out and meeting somebody and bringing them back to my home and say, oh my God, I hooked up with Jax Taylor, this and that. So I find it easier just to watch porn, so I don't have to deal with any of that.
No, I get that too.
And I don't have to talk to them the next morning.
No, but this is for real. I mean, and also because you've been in a relationship the whole time that you've had the fame. So that's really, really hard. And I think, you must have friends who go through this too. I think you just have to vet people really, really carefully. And the fact that you're not drinking is amazing, because you can't do things that get taken advantage of. You be like, do you consent to this? Listen, there's even apps you can even say, like, are you consenting to this experience of us having sex? Like, you could use, like, there's some AI apps. You could be like, that might not seem sexy, but consent can be sexy, because the opposite of it is like, what's going to happen? Did this person agree? Are they going to come after me?
Right.
But I see what you're saying. So that means even more reason why you should probably, what might be nice for you is to slow down, get to know someone. You can read people probably better when you're sober and be like, oh, this person just wants me because of my fame. This person just wants to say she fucked Jack Taylor, So, I get it. And I get that too. Do people want to sleep with me because of Sex with Emily? Like, I understand that. And I feel like in these 20 years, I've been able to like navigate it. So I'm not I can tell if someone's in it because like, she must be incredible. Or I just want to, like, you just, now that your mind's going to be clearer, you're going to start to trust your instincts, and you're going to know.
Okay, my next one is some men have a hard time holding an erection or reaching climax. Why is that? Many women feel that they are the ones to blame. Do you think that's...
Yeah, I know. It's not the woman's fault. So I wish I could just
I would never say it's the woman's fault.
No, but a lot of women, so let's talk about the women's perspective. Oh my God, he can't get hard. He came too quickly. It must be my fault. It must be because he doesn't like my body, or I kissed him wrong, or I did something bad. But men's erections are highly unpredictable. And there's a lot of different reasons why you can get hard, you can't stay hard. It could be because alcohol, drugs you're on, medications, anxiety.
I will tell you right now, drugs and alcohol play a huge role.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just tell you that right now.
Huge role. I mean, huge role. I mean, it's literally everything. Your erections are an indicator of the food you eat, the environment you're in, the toxins that you're exposed to when you were growing up. And so erections are just, there's a lot of different reasons. Again, medications, lifestyle, if you're on an antidepressant, if you're drinking, if you're smoking a lot of weed, so many things. But it's, yeah.
How do you know if you have a sex addiction? This is a good one for me. How do I know? I need to know this. This is a question that I need to know.
It's like anything. It's kind of what I said about having a porn addiction. Is there consequences to it? Do you feel that it's compulsive, like you have to have sex and then you feel better, but then you feel worse after?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe there is something around sex that you don't have a healthy relationship with it.
I think, I have a lot of issues. I'm going to be honest. I'd say this metaphor before. I have a pipe. Okay. That's probably wrong to use a pipe or a hose, right? I bandaged.
But it's always erect, right?
It's always erect. So I bandaged.
No problems with your pipe.
I don't have any problems. No, I did bandage one issue, which was my drinking and my drug use. But now I feel like I've opened up a couple other holes, such as my mental health or my anxiety or my OCD, and maybe there possibly might be a little bit of a sex addiction in there.
Okay.
And I don't know. Is it on my mind more than it should be? Probably. But I don't know why. I've tried to figure out why. Why am I like that? I have no I went and got my testosterone levels checked, and they're off the charts. Okay. Because I was trying to figure out. I always get my blood work done because I'm petrified of cancer. So I go get my blood work done every 4 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Listen, your testosterone is like that of a 25-year-old." Really? And I'm like, does that have something to do with it?
I mean, honestly, your testosterone. It's less about testosterone and more about your overall health and wellness and patterns.
I've had a great family.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, it's the alcohol. So here's what happens. It's all related, right? So when you take away the alcohol, so now, and all addiction has the same underlying factor, whether it's food or porn or drugs. The addiction, let's say to alcohol, is to mask some underlying stuff that you've been dealing with. And so now that you've taken away one of those addictions, well, now it's all coming up and it's all related. It's not like you can silo, did alcohol, done, now everything else should be great. So it sounds like more will be revealed right now. And I'm really glad that you're in therapy and that you're getting help right now, because there's just a lot more to unpack with this. And so it sounds like, they often say too, when you take away, they say this in AA, when you take away one addiction, you have another one.
It's because I have an addictive personality.
Right. So now you're thinking it's sex, but until you get to the root of it all, what is in your body? And I know you had a perfect childhood. I don't believe anyone did, personally, because our parents do the best they can, but there's certain patterns and things that we learn in our childhood that until we do that deep work, we don't really understand it. It'll start to come up and you'll see, oh, wow, the way I was getting validation from women, or maybe my dad said this thing and maybe something happened when I was younger. Now you're going to be able to really put all the pieces together. And so, but if you are feeling like you do have a sex addiction, it might just be the other. Did you ever think this before the alcohol was gone?
Yes. It's been there since I was a kid. Yeah. Yeah. It's been on my mind all the time. And it was I don't want to say it was a game to me, but it was always looking for validation. Mm-hmm. Now it's more about validation and looking for, it's always been there. It's never
like that hole that can't be filled in a way. You keep wanting to,
That's funny.
You can fill out of holes. No, but it's kind of like that need for that fix, whether it's for the alcohol or the, it's all related to this inner Jack's part of you that has to feel. I wish I knew where it was
coming from. Because I try to pick out why. I have some friends that just I can give or take. I got one of my good buddies. He's whatever. I don't need it. How do you not? I can't go a day without thinking about it at least half a dozen times.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, no, it is so common that men think about sex a little bit more than women. That is true. But I don't think that it means that anything is necessarily wrong with you. I think that I really hope that you are in good therapy right now. No, I'm serious. I've been in therapy my whole life. I love therapy. I think we all need therapy. I do all different kinds of therapy. I do trauma therapy. I mean, in it personally, even as a therapist. It's just like, is this your first time in therapy?
I've gone through 4 different therapists.
Okay.
Just for different reasons. I've talked about my podcast. I've had some bad therapists.
Yeah.
I've had some therapists move away. I've had some therapists that just don't work. I'm in one right now. I've started using them. We're barely in. It takes like a couple months to get in.
It takes about a year, actually, committing to therapy like you commit to your workouts. Like you do not cancel an appointment. No. You revolve your whole life around it. Yeah. And I think at this point in your life, if you can afford to, I would go twice a week.
I'm right now, a form of therapy for me is working out. I go to the gym once to twice a day, 6 days a week.
But but I'm talking about a work with somebody that can actually help you do the work. And when you say, where is it coming from? It's all coming from inside of you. It's patterns, it's conditioning, it's how you grew up, it's your family environment. You built our brains get wired around certain things. So you maybe decided that getting validation from women, I'm just going to make maybe in 3rd grade something happened where you didn't get picked, or this woman, and you said, I'm never going to let that happen again, and I'm going to be the hottest guy, and every girl's going to want me because that's going to make me feel enough and lovable. I mean, most of the things that we do in our life is because we are so afraid of not being loved, even if we have all the love in the world.
I think that's a huge
thing.
So
our biggest fear is that we are not lovable and that we are not enough. So for me, I always think I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not saying enough. People have different variations. For you, you might not be lovable. And so having sex, no matter how much your parents loved you, no matter how much you get from the outside world, how much fame, how much women want to sleep with you, it's still not going to fill. That's the hole I'm talking about. And that's the part that is going to be your work.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because I'm trying to think back. I've always been put on a pedestal my whole life.
Yeah.
I can do no wrong. Even if I did wrong, my parents said he can do no wrong. I was always up here. It's Jax. He's fine. He can do,
But Jax, that's a lot of pressure.
Sports, and I was always the good-looking guy, homecoming, court, and voted best looking guy, and modeling. I've been in a world of people telling you you're beautiful and you're this your whole life, right? So you have no. People just telling you you're perfect all the time. So you're built that way now. And now you just I can't have any rejection because that'll freak me out.
There was no room to be vulnerable.
There was no room.
Today's actually hard. Because no one's perfect.
I've never had consequences for my actions growing up. I was always put on a pedestal. I could do no wrong. Didn't matter what I did.
Can I just say one thing, Jax? That's really hard. I see a little Jax who's a human boy, who's a boy. And probably some days were hard. Some feelings were hard. Some things were hard. You didn't have the best game, or you just, because you're human, you wanted something, you didn't get it, or you were in a bad mood. And you didn't have that support. You didn't feel that you could go to your family, maybe your parents or whoever it was, and say, you know what? Today was hard, or I don't feel like playing, or I don't want to show up. That's how you got it again. Not knock your parents. It's just conditioning. What happens? So you didn't feel that it was okay to be vulnerable and to be like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. Today I don't feel great. So that wasn't safe. So then you thought, well, the more I perform and the more perfect and the more on and the hotter I am and the more work I do, I'm going to keep getting validation in the way, because that's how you got the validation from your primary caregivers. And so to me, my heart just goes out to I want you to just be messy and be like, this sucks and I don't feel great today. And I'm that's the real shit.
I'm starting to do that now.
Good.
My therapist and stuff. And like I said, right now, 1 day a week is good for me.
Okay. I want to be a pusher.
No,
I'm a pusher. I'm a therapy pusher. I don't want to be. But when you're in a thing,
no, I know.
When you're in a process, I just know when I've gone through stuff, I've had some stuff challenges. I just know this because my family's a big therapy. There was you gotta go to therapy. I would just go twice a week, and it was so much more effective because it's like working out.
Right.
The more you go, the more you're working out your brain. You're literally, your mental health is everything.
Right.
It is. You got your physical health, you got that down, but the mental health is really where all of your self-worth comes from, and self-love, and how you're going to have these authentic conversations, and how you're going to have these real, deep, meaningful relationships with everyone around you. I'll bet if we're here a year from now, all of your relationships, if you stay on this path, are going to be so much more rich and meaningful, and it's going to be what you've always wanted. But what I'm hearing is my heart, I feel like it's so hard that you weren't ever actually able to be you. It wasn't safe.
My insecurity is through the roof.
Because you
got to remember, look at the business that I've been in forever.
Yeah,
where people
tough.
tell you look this certain way your whole life. I've been modeling and being in the Bronco runways and being in print advertising, like my whole adult life, I've been in the entertainment industry, and people telling you you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, and then, and then you come to California, New York, and then you're in a melting pot of people that are all like you, good looking, and now you're getting rejected. Wait a minute, now you're rejecting me? I've never been rejected in my life, because now I'm in a melting pot of people that were all told they were good looking in other states. Now they all come to the mecca of California, New York, and now you're around all these good looking people, and now you're getting rejected.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's kind of like,
what does that feel like when you get rejected?
Wait a minute, I've never been told no in my life.
What does that feel?
So it hurts you, right? It makes you insecure.
And then what happens?
I'm not good looking enough? Why am I not getting this job and this guy got this job? Mm-hmm. So it was like constant, like that's what Hollywood is. Hollywood is constant rejection. I think you get maybe 5% of the jobs that you ever get on, maybe less than that.
I know. I just assume now, like, not going to happen. Just assume until it happens, it's going to happen. Right. So that's really
imagine getting what you want your whole entire life, right? Well, your whole entire youth, and then you go and say, well, shit, if I'm killing it in this state, I should be great. In California, I'm going to be great. And then you get here and you're like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. I'm just a small fish in a big pond, whereas I used to be the big fish in a small pond. So
no, I get it. That's tough. A lot. That is tough.
It's
and so
really,
then, and then what we're talking about, would you say you get angry? What I want to go to is like, and then what's the coping mechanism for that? It might have been drinking to block that, to numb that. It might have been like, well, I'm going to sleep with more people, or I'm going to work even harder.
Yeah, it's a drug.
But you see, But you see that it's a loop of not dealing with. Okay, that rejection hurt.
Yeah.
Does it mean I'm a bad person? Does it mean I'm not hot? Does it mean I'm not talented?
Right.
Like it's that. That's the slowing down process. Yeah, but when you sit with it and you're like, well, does it really mean that? Does it really? It just means that there's a lot of other. Does it mean?
I know, but you don't want to say, like, when you're in that moment. You're in that moment. You're like, fuck this.
But the moment is where the change happens. It's saying I could normally react in this way, but in this moment, I'm going to actually look at it. I'm feeling like I want to get angry about it and I want to feel bad about myself. But is it true? Like, is it true that I'm not enough, or that I'm rejected, or I'm not, like? And there's a process of asking yourself a series of questions, like, is my thought, I mean, I could do therapy, but like, is this thought true? Yes, it's true. I'm rejected. I'm a terrible person. Well, is it really true? And you go, well, is it really true? No, I guess I'm not a terrible person. Okay, maybe I'm okay. How do you know? Like, and then there's like, how do you know it's true? And then what if it wasn't true? Like, what's the reverse of that? Well, the reverse of that would be that I'm actually a really good guy. So it's a 5-step question that you could be like it's actually from this practice of therapy by, I can't think of her name right now, but it's the 5 questions. Do you know it's true? How do you know it's true? What if the reverse was true? And then you rewrite the sentence. And so you rewrite the statement to, I know that I am enough. I am lovable. So it's almost like questioning your thoughts in the moment and reversing the script, because that's where it's going to happen, because you're just like in such a pattern right now of feeling bad about it and then overriding it.
And this year has probably been the hardest year of my entire life.
Yeah,
I lost my father 5 years ago, and that was the hardest year. Now I'm going through a divorce. I was diagnosed with bipolar. Bipolar disorder is a huge factor in the way of thinking. And what you were just saying right now, I no matter what you say, I wouldn't think like that. But now I got on this medication, and now I'm starting to let things roll off my back. I finally found something that works for me, that I don't get angry, because I have anger issues, huge anger issues. And since I've been on this medication, I've let things roll off my back, and I just don't care anymore, and I don't let things bother me. And it's just been such it's such an amazing ride that I've been on lately. But yeah, this year has been, you're doing amazing work. It's been a very, very, very tough year. I mean, going to rehab twice, bipolar, OCD, and losing my marriage, and dealing with my son, and it's just been a lot. Any man would turn to drugs and alcohol if he figured out the shit that I've gone through.
But how amazing that you're not.
You know what? Everybody goes through what I'm going through. It was my time, and it's just how you bounce back and how you react to it. I'm very, very blessed and fortunate that I'm still here right now, because the amount of drugs and alcohol I've done, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't. And I luckily, had good people in my corner and said, enough's enough. You need to go get some help. And, I've always had the issues with the drinking and the drugs, but once the divorce once I started separation, it went bad. It went from bad to worse. And like you said, I don't even like alcohol that much. I don't even like drugs, but I was masking the situations that I was going through, because I was so hurt and I was so much in pain from everything that I'm going through, that I was like, just even if it was just curing it for 2 hours, I could do a little bit of cocaine and I can drink a little bit and I'd be fine. Yeah. And then it would be actually worse, because the next day I would just be coming down from it and be it's
a mess. And so this pain that you're talking about that's coming up right now, this is an old pain too. This pain has been with you since you were little. And I'm telling you that most of us did not grow up with parents that were attuned and knew how to help us emotionally regulate.
No, it was a different time period.
Yeah,
we didn't, and I come from a very conservative man's man.
We grew up the same
men
time.
don't talk about our feelings.
No.
We don't cry. We don't show emotion. And I'm the first one in my generation that I'm going to make sure my son talks about his feelings. Because
Yes.
when I was upset and sad and all of this, my dad was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
See, but look where you are now. Okay, so here's
And it
the
wasn't
thing.
my dad's fault.
Of course.
He was just taught by his
That's how it's
grandfather.
always been. So can I just say this? You are the generation. Hopefully, yes, your generation, your child, your son, and your kids now born in the last maybe 20 years. They have more. We have more skills now. And my mom's always like, "You can't get mad. Like we didn't have Oprah when you were growing up, or we didn't have Dr. Phil, or whatever it was." But the truth is, like, all this stuff is like new information. Parents were like, don't cry or cry it out. We're going to leave you crying in the other room, or don't be a sissy.
We don't do that.
And so think about it. So here you are, young boy. You're sad about something. You're bummed about something, and you are told because your dad's dad and dad's dad. This is all generational.
Yeah.
It goes on for 7 generations.
Right.
So your dad's dad, your great grandfather. They were like, buck up. Don't feel this way. So here you are, young Jax, having feelings, like being sad or being bummed, or you didn't get picked for the team, or you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, or whatever it is. But the second you felt that, which is a full body experience, you were told, stop crying. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And so then you start drinking as a teenager when your brain is still developing, and that makes it a little bit, seems like it makes it a little bit easier. It's a little bit of a crutch. And so now you're at 45 and you removed all these things that were helping you not feel this probably sadness over not being able to feel sad. And so now you have to learn how to feel that healthy range of emotions with people around you who support you. And that's why I love therapy. Because your therapist.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with therapy, but I just a little bit at a time.
You got to find
me.
the right person.
Like I said,
forget the 2 days a week. I told you.
No.
Once a week,
I'm your average guy's guy. I don't like to share my feelings. I don't like to talk about that.
I know, but that's what's going to set you free. I get it.
I'd rather go to the gym and lift weights. That's just what I like to do.
Yeah.
And that is a form of therapy for me, and it's been doing wonders right now. Like I said, the gym is my therapy. Like I go in there, it's just me and the weights, it's just me and the iron, and I'm lifting. And like I said, I have an addictive personality, so I stopped the drugs and alcohol. Now I'm super into fitness.
Yeah.
I'm into eating right. I'm into looking good. I'm into going to the gym. I'm into just anything fitness and health related. I'm so focused on. That's all I read anymore. It's all I follow on social media anymore. I'm watching bodybuilders and health and fitness and running and supplements and all this. It's all I care about anymore. I went from one extreme to the next. And you know what? It probably is not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's a lot healthier than what I was doing before.
No, that makes sense. That is healthy to focus on your physical health.
And I want to be around for a long. I have a little boy. And it's important for me to be able to throw the football around when he gets a little older. Okay, guys, we're going to end it right there. We're going to follow up next week with all the questions. Thank you guys so much for listening with Emily. We're going to be back again next week with Emily, and don't forget to follow the podcast, follow my podcast. And if you have any questions, please DM us. Talk to you later. See you next week.
Are you looking for your next case? Pluto TV has all your favorite crime dramas streaming for free.
You're gonna need some backup.
Which means suspense is free.
Very cool.
Watch CSI New York, Criminal Minds, Blue Bloods, Tracker, FBI, and SWAT all for free.
You can't outrun this.
Someone is gonna pay for all this crime. But it's not gonna be you.
Take care of business, fellas.
Watch all the cases, all for free, from all your favorite devices.
We got you.
Feel the free. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.